welcome back to They Did What? Your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories, where I go over them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today, I'm going to go over a story titled, I think my wife cheated on me, but I have no proof. And guys, this story is about a guy who is in his mid-20s, been married for less than a year, and already his wife wants to go do all these things without him. And this all starts off with wanting to go to a concert with a friend who she claims is GAY, nothing to worry about. And the next thing you know, she wants to spend the time with the band, and she's in their hotel rooms, and all these things are claiming nothing's going on. And you're going to see, guys, well, let's just say she's not exactly very honest. And eventually there's all sorts of other can of worms that are popping up here. And eventually this guy handles things right, and you're going to see how he kicks her to the curb and he's back on turning his life around. But the important thing is in the story, and you're going to see all the details here, all the things he goes through, how a guy doesn't want to believe that his girl's doing this type of thing, but she is. And there's so many different obvious signs to us, but it's important to go and hear the story, guys, so that you, relationship guys, don't make the same mistakes he did, like getting married too young, which he clearly did, how quickly they can turn on you, and they often will marry you young because they just want a ring on their finger and not really love you. You're there to provide, nothing more. And now you have to check the girls and how her actions communicate everything. And if her actions show she's dismissive of all your concerns and issues, she doesn't want to hang out with you, all these sorts of things, and amongst many other things that show signs of cheating, you got to handle things accordingly. And sometimes you just have to, just like a bad investment, sell it at a loss, cut your losses, and move on. And in a situation like this, exactly that. But fortunately, this will end on a higher note. He says, married less than a year, both in our mid-20s. She gets concert tickets for Christmas. Naturally, I assume I'm going with her. Nope. She wants to take someone from work because he's supposedly a huge fan of the band. She also tells me that he's gay. No, I don't think so. And already they're married less than a year and she wants to go off without him. I'm upset, but I decide not to start a fight about it. Smack! There you go. That's nice guy crap. No, if you have an issue, you speak up, not walking on eggshells to, keep her from getting mad at you. That's weakness, and she'll be seen as weakness. She goes to the concert, and they wait outside near the band bus after the show is over. The bassist from the band starts to talk to her, and she flirts with him. He asks if she's going to their New Year's Eve show 200 miles away. She says no because she can't afford it. He said he'll comp her tickets if she comes. She says she won't go alone. He says she can bring her friend. Well, of course, this guy is like, come on, no problem, I'll sponsor you. I'll take care of the costs because she's young and pretty. Now her New Year's Eve plans are ruined because there's no way I can go too. She had joked before about having to sleep with the bassist for these tickets and VIP access. I didn't find it funny, so she played it off. In the end, this is her favorite band, and I don't want her holding this over my head for the rest of our lives. So let her make the decision herself. She decides to go with her friend from work, who she now says she's only 80% sure he's gay. Yeah, okay, sure. So, you're married less than a year, or not even a year, and this is how she's treating you. This goes to say everything. And they got married in their mid-20s, way too young, and obviously wasn't with her long enough to get to know her. I think she just wanted the ceremony and a ring, and this is how she's treating him. This guy should never be allowing this stuff to go on, but he's obviously young and inexperienced. And her actions show she could care less. Keeps blowing him off to blow somebody else off. She texts me on the long drive over there, and then when she gets the tickets, then nothing. I text her at midnight. She gives me a 3-word response. I don't hear from her again. I call her 11:30 the next morning, and she says she's waiting at the subway station to get back to her hotel. She eventually gets home around 4:30 p.m. Again, he more and more disrespect because she realizes she can do it and he'll still take her back. She eventually gets home at 4:30 p.m. I ask her how it went. She says they partied all night. She took prescription drugs and drank a lot. She said she was pissed she paid for a hotel when she only slept for 2 hours. I asked how that was possible when she was at the subway at 11:30 a.m. She admits that she didn't use the hotel room at all and she must have slept in the band suite. He says, what? She then blames amnesia on a hangover. So is she behaving like a woman that's in love with her husband, behaving like now a wife? No. She's behaving like a single gal, riding the carousel, being wild and all that. And this girl is in no way, shape, or form relationship material. Why'd she even bother getting married? Well, we know the answer to that. Fast forward a day or so, she gets out of the shower. I know she shaved her pubes. I asked her when she did it, and she says Friday. Here's the thing. My wife never shaves her pubes. When she does, it's a present for me. She left for work, and I found a package of Summer Eve's feminine wipes in her overnight bag. Here's the other thing. I've always secretly thought she had an odor problem, but she's certainly never done anything about it for me. That was a brand new pack. Why did she have them? Dude, connect the dots here. What do you think is going on? But of course, no guy wants to believe his girl's cheating on him, especially his wife of 1 year. But where there's smoke, there's fire. So what do you think? Is she cheating? With the bassist or the guy from work? Should I confront her about it? Absolutely you should confront her about it, bro. I mean, you just walking on eggshells because you don't want to provoke a fight and argument isn't helping the situation. It's just showing her she can keep getting away with more. It's like a little kid testing the barriers with a parent. He says, sorry that's such a horrible read. I'm a little shaking as I write this since I don't know what to do. This is an F-up situation for sure. But I should remain there's a reason we got married. She and I share an affinity for so many things, from music to gaming to trees to other nerdy stuff. Some people might consider us a couple that spends too much time together. The SEX life has cooled off a bit, but neither of us has been left wanting. Not sure if this changes anything. So you got married because you have hobbies and interests? Why? You can just be in a relationship with her. Really? You probably thought this is the best thing I'm ever going to get. I got to lock her down now. That's probably what happened, and she was probably eager to get a wedding ceremony. Not a marriage, a wedding. Be the first of her friends to get married, who knows? And look how she's behaving. She's not behaving like a loving wife. A loving wife would want her husband to come along and not say no, and then disappear and ditch him on New Year's. The first New Year's as a married couple, she ditches him. No, he has every reason to bring this up and check her. And in my opinion, say, you know what? Your actions are showing this isn't working out, and I know there's something going on here. It's been less than a year, annulment. He also says, I think I should clarify that she got concert tickets as a Christmas gift, but the concert was not on Christmas. The first concert was on December 30th, the second December 31st. I'm trying to avoid keywords. I might avoid her finding this thread, so I won't name the band, but it's not Nickelback, but it's definitely not Fish. He says, now his update. I sat her down last night for a talk. Oh, let's see how this goes. I asked her to walk me through the night so I could better understand the details. They had tickets waiting at a will call and were able to stand in the VIP section for the concert. The bar was open until 2 in the morning, at which point they were invited to the band's suite. The hotel gave her free pajamas, so she wasn't wearing her dress when she went up there. It was a pretty large party with the bassist, guitarist, cellist, and the opening band, and the entire road crew. What do you think's going to go on here? Sex, drugs, and rock and roll, and she's part of the SEX and the drugs. It's over. Period. First, she shouldn't be hanging out with other guys, though she claims he's GAY. And doing this? No. She said her friend from work was hovering around her all night and being annoying. She said she fell asleep on the floor of the living room, as did a dozen other people. Her coworker woke up at 11 o'clock and they went to the subway. Oh yeah, that's what I want to hear about my wife. No. Goodbye. I asked her why she shaved, and she says she doesn't know. What if I end up going swimming, she said. Did you bring a bathing suit, I asked. No. Not to mention the fact that my wife can't swim. She is full of crap. She'll drown in 6 feet of water and nothing to hold on to. We enjoy hot tubs, though. I still wouldn't have been comfortable with her in a hot tub full of strangers. No shit. Dude. I asked her about the summer evenings cleansing cloths. She admitted that they were for feminine odor, but she thought she brought them during our last Walmart shopping trip, or bought them then, which was the day after Christmas. If that's true, she couldn't have known that she was sleeping out without me on New Year's Eve. She didn't even have the Eve opening then. When I checked the package again, I was positive it was unopened. I asked her to look me in the eye and swear there was no kissing, cuddling, or S-word conduct of any kind. She did so, repeated those exact words. Guess what? People that are master liars can look you straight in the eye and be convincing about it. Look at her actions, dude. Now, you don't want to think that your girl will do this, but come on. I also told her how hurt I was about the whole situation. I told her that if she has tickets to something and I want to go, she's obligated to take me no matter what. If she isn't ready to make that call, then she wasn't ready for marriage. She was very resistant and used a lot of hyperbole in the conversation, as in, you always do this, and I never that. The most hurtful thing she said to me was that if I was able to go out on New Year's Eve, she thinks she wouldn't have had as much fun. Oh my God. Dude, it's over. This should never have happened. End it now with the annulment. I told her that's a fundamental blow to our relationship and she should call our marriage into question. She said I was being ridiculous. Well, of course, because the man's always the bad guy. So I'm pretty much back where I started. Still not sure if she cheated. It's possible she lied. I have no way of knowing. She's acting pretty much normal to home, as if nothing happened. Yeah, because she doesn't care and she's really good at covering her tracks. Dude, she's cheating. And even if she wasn't cheating, which I don't believe, she's treating you like crap and dismissing all your concerns. And they're warranted concerns. And look at her behavior. Doesn't want to be around you on New Year's Eve. All these other things, saying she won't have a good time with you. No, it's not working. I still don't know what to do. I'm going to leave this up for another day or so and then take it down so she doesn't see it. Now for another update. This is all full of updates. It says last week the bassist guy texted my wife and invited her to a concert in a city 100 miles away on a weeknight. Dude, come on. Why do you think he's doing it? Just to hang out with her? He's nailing her. She wanted to go by herself, and I brought up the events on New Year's Eve. She stopped talking to me and gave me the silent treatment for 3 days. Manipulation, manipulation, manipulation. Bro, end it. I went on a business trip over the weekend and kept in touch with her every day. When I got back, we spent Valentine's Day together. Yesterday I was on Reddit and saw that I had an orange. I can't even read this word. I clicked on it only to realize my wife was signing in on my computer. She used her account for Gone Wild. That's her account, her username, Gone Wild, like Girls Gone Wild. That'll tell you something. Which I knew about and supported. But what I didn't expect is that she was sending photos to guys via private message. I continued reading. One guy asked, "What's the weirdest thing you've ever done?" And there it was. She responded with, "On New Year's Eve, I had my first threesomething with a member of the famous 90s rock band and a friend." There you go. And why is this guy, she's there on Reddit posting things and talking to other people and he's aware of this? Well, there you go, you got the proof. End it. What do you think was happening? The first thing I did was speak to a lawyer about my options. Good for you, bro. Then I confronted her about it, and she said it was only half true. She said she embellished and that her friend really is G-A-Y, and she and the bassist made out and did oral. Oh, well that's okay then. If you only made out and did oral with the bass guitar guy, then no problem. We can continue on like nothing happened. No. Look at her justification, because she literally thinks this guy's so weak, he'll just go along with us. That's when I left the apartment and headed straight for the hospital to get tested for STDs. I got back several hours later, not believing a word she said. I told her to text the guy simply, "Did we have SEX?" And he says, "No, I'll believe her." Then she admitted that they did have SEX. Shocker. My whole life has been shattered. We were married less than a year, and I invested my whole being into this 5-year relationship. Smack! And that's why she's treating you that way, dude. Investing your whole being, making her out to be the end-all, be-all of your existence. You can't do that, man. And it's unfortunate you can have someone you love and you can't treat them great, but if you do, it's so often perceived as weakness, and they take advantage of you. But she didn't love you. She doesn't love you now. She never did. She probably married you just for the big ceremony and could be the first of her friends to do it. Who knows? Or you pay all the bills. But it doesn't mean you can't fix a problem. I moved into the second bedroom and I'm sleeping on a futon. Our lease goes until May. How about she sleeps on the futon and you sleep in the regular bed, dude? Really? I just wanted to update you guys since I know people rarely do that. And thank you for being there for me. I'm in South Jersey and I could use some love. Stu could definitely use some love. Now down to the next update. He says, 4 men. She had an affair with 4 different men over the past 5 months. This poor guy. I mean, he's made his mistakes, but I feel bad for him. It's terrible. The first was a guy from work she started sexting and sending racy pictures back to in October. Then she met a random guy at a concert and kissed him. She met up with him again when she was at a drive-in movie theater with a friend where allegedly nothing happened except cuddling. She met up with him again when she was at a club with some friends and he effed her from behind in the bathroom. A drunk texted her a month later and they fought and broke off contact after that. This is why, guys. He was trying to be the good guy, letting her go out with her friends and concerts and all that, and look what happened. No married woman who truly loves a guy is not going to want to do those things without him, or do those things in general so much. One night in mid-December, I came home from work at 6 p.m., knowing that she'd gone at 2 p.m. for a company Christmas party. Her pet bunny was out of the cage and running around the apartment. She was nowhere to be found. Her car was in the parking lot. Her coat was on the chair. I called her phone and it rang from the couch. I called my mom in panic. I ran around the apartment complex looking for her. I screamed her name. I even checked the goddamn dumpsters, expecting the worst. When she came home an hour and a half later, the police were in my living room and I was giving them a description. I held her so tightly, I was so scared that something had happened to her. I was in tears. A minute earlier, she was making out with a guy from the work in his car down the street, with her hand on his package. If she wasn't on her period, she would have had sex with him. Then there's New Year's Eve. The bassist guy likes it up the ASS. When my wife and her gay friend went up to the hotel room, he asked him to F him there. He did, with my wife in the room, and then the other guy told him to get lost. He then had unprotected sex with her, with possible insemination. She took the morning after pill and had a pregnancy scare when she was late for her period, then continued to chat via text, email, video chat after that. This is obviously all the info he got later on in time through her Reddit and all that. This poor guy. Finally, she had an emotional affair with a guy she met on Reddit. They flirted via text and email and made plans to meet in person and have sex while I was on a business trip last weekend. A friend of mine asked if she wanted to do LSD together, and she found that to be the better option. As far as I know, she never met the guy. Oh, well, that makes everything wonderful. She continued to flirt and chat with 3 of the 4 men up until last Wednesday when I found out. I only found out about the other 2 yesterday after I invaded her privacy and found tons of emails and chats about these men. I forwarded these emails to myself and even had the t-shirt that my wife slept in that belonged to the bassist. She actually brought it into our home. Of course, it was like a trophy to her, and it's her way of saying F you to this guy. Again, guys, this is why you don't get married, why many guys don't get married, period. Or if you do, you spend years with your girl, and you don't rush into things in your 20s. And you never, ever you hold back when it's time to check her. And if she's doing a bunch of BS, that makes you really question things. This poor guy, but he hasn't helped himself. I know this doesn't count as verification, but here's a photo of the t-shirt and my hospital bracelet from when I got screened for STDs. He was showing a picture. I can never hurt or off myself, but believe me when I say I wish I was dead. I wouldn't wish this pain on someone I hate. I'm weak, I'm exhausted, and I can't eat or sleep. I miss her so bad, but I'm repulsed by her at the same time. I told her not even be in the same room as me until she gets tested for STDs. No, he misses what he thought she was. Her behavior now, and the last, since I got married, or probably the whole time, is the real her. She was showing him a BS fantasy. He had a BS fantasy of who he thought she was, but this is who she really is. I told her to email her entire family and tell them everything she did. She has a very tight family, and this will likely shame her for life. I told her she needs to cut all ties to everyone and burn every bridge, including with the 2 friends that enabled her, if she even wants to speak to me again. And even then, it's very likely there's nothing to save. Dude, there's nothing to save. Now, I know how this ends, but no. You're in love of a BS fantasy who you thought she was. She's not going to do anything, and you take her back, she'll keep doing the same thing over again, knowing there's no consequences. I feel so alone. I have friends I've been relying upon, but I can't tell if they're being supported because they want to be and they like to have me around, or they simply not a-holes. My confidence and self-esteem is shot. I'm doomed to be alone no matter what I do. I was already physically neglected. I'm in no condition for a new relationship, and there is no way I could be intimate with this woman ever again. Everything I had was just ripped away. Dude, I get you're breaking down and feel like scum, and so many guys would be in this situation, but you can't let yourself go down that path. You're a good guy, you made mistakes, but you can rebuild and learn from your mistakes. And frankly, you shouldn't be in a rush for any relationships. A lot of people go from one bad relationship to the other to make themselves feel better or wanted or loved. No. You need a lot of time to fix, to heal, and work on yourself, or you're going to make the same mistakes again. He says, I also need some cheering up. Again, South Jersey, Philly area, thanks again for the kind words I'm receiving. He says also, she had SCX from the guy from work. He's finding these things out with these updates. I'm effing done. It's over. I don't make her write any letters or tell anyone. She can rot for all I care. I'm free from this BS. Anyone for a beer. And now, this guy's coming to reality here, and now we're going to wrap this thing up pretty soon. That he's accepting reality. He says, next update. The past 7 months have had a lot of ups and downs. I'm in a much better place than I used to be, but still on the road to recovery. I go to therapy 3 times a month. I started running and working out frequently. I dropped from 245 pounds in February to 205 pounds this morning. Awesome, bro. Good for you. You're bettering yourself, and the exercise will make you feel better. I feel so much more in shape, and for the first time since high school, I feel good about my body. The changes caused me to have to buy all new clothes, so I'm slowly updating my wardrobe and dressing better. I have a large pool of friends now. The friends that I spent New Year's Eve with hang out every Tuesday for trivia, and we went to the beach a few times this spring and summer. I practice my band 3 times a week now, and our own album was just released for free online. Dude, that's awesome. So clearly she likes band guys. We hang out several times a week. My best friend right now is a girl I met on Reddit, unrelated to these posts. Smack! You can't be best friends with a girl, dude. Come on here. Unless you're just trying to be that nice guy trying to woo her through being her friend. That never works. We text every day and hang out every other night, and if one of us is absent for more than 2 days, we miss each other a lot. Oh, for good. Either you're dating this girl or you're not. Don't be like that. I took a trip to Puerto Rico with my mom and my aunt back in May, and it was a life-changing experience. You went with your mom and aunt? No sightseeing or tourism. My mom grew up there and we were visiting family. I got to experience the real culture of my heritage. I currently live in a predominantly white suburb. When I came back, I was much more calm and finally had a positive outlook on life. Okay, if you went back to the homeland, to the mother country where your family's from, so be it. But I'm glad you're hanging out with other dudes doing well. But this best friend girl thing that's a problem. As for my ex, the easiest, cheapest, and most painless way for us to divorce is irreconcilable differences. For my state, that requires 18 months living in separate residences while not having sex with each other. No problem there. 6 months down, 12 months to go. I look forward to the day she's no longer disgraces my last name. There's so much she's lying about to me and so much more I will never know the truth about. Dude, you're never going to know everything. But you know what? Countdown is on. Get rid of her. You spend your time bettering yourself and stop being best friends with a girl that's just stupid. And do the countdown until she's out of your life. And you learn from your mistakes. For a while, we talked about spending time apart. After a while, seeing if there was something there to save. She called me to meet with her a few months later, and after a long and deceitful amount of small talk, she told me she had given up. She no longer wanted me back. She had quit therapy, and I know for a fact she is currently dating one of the guys she cheated on me with. I'd be like, hey, knock yourself out. Because eventually, those guys are going to kick her to the curb, but she'll come back for this guy when she feels like she needs something. To be honest, good for her. She'll either wake up one day and realize how much better life could have been with me, or she'll have a better life with this guy. Either way, I never would have wanted to hold her back from that higher state of happiness. In the meanwhile, I never want to see her again outside of the courtroom. Good. He's finally gone past the hurt and the pain and all those stages of grief to being done with her, and that's great. To cope with my deflated ego, I went through a period of S-word promiscuity. He became a man, W-H-O-R-E. I picked up some self-help books, hit up art seduction, and took my new body to college parties. I went on dates with old friends I hadn't seen in 5 years. I slept around with girls as old as 30 or as young as 18. To be perfectly honest, none of that made me feel better. It usually doesn't. I thought that I wanted to feel young again and sow my wild oats, but the truth is I just wanted to be loved. Right, but that's a problem. It's probably a lot of guys have. They didn't get the love they wanted early on somehow, or they really want it from someone else, and that way, because they want to be loved, they put too much into the relationship then it's being balanced out, being reciprocated, and they try, and they put the girl on the pedestal and make her their whole world, and it backfires big time. Guys, you want unconditional love, get a dog, or hopefully you have a mama that loves you unconditionally, or you get a couple cats or a cat, and even then, you better feed your cat and change the litter box. That cat's gonna stop loving you. Or the cat will love you, but leave you. Cats are a lot like women. It's interesting. But anyhow, no, don't do that. You gotta love yourself, and don't go for women for unconditional love. I'm sorry, it's gonna end badly. You can enjoy her company and have a good time with her, but if you're truly in love and looking for her to love you back, that's never gonna let most men able to handle things the way they have to when the situation arises. So I'm actually dating someone right now. We connect deeply on a mental and physical level, and being with her makes me feel like I can love again. She lives an hour away, which I find to be a good thing because it keeps us from turning into a codependent relationship. I retain my independence while still having someone who cares about me and goes out with me a few times a week. Will it last? I don't know, and I don't care. Living in the moment has been one of my coping mechanisms this year, so long as I live responsibly. When I'm with her, I'm happy, and that's all I care about. Well, if it can make you feel better, that's great, but if you're doing boneheaded things like living in the moment and doing foolish things, that's a problem. And she's an hour away. That's not like super long distance, but just be careful. So this is getting very long here, but I wanted to thank you all for the support of commenters on Reddit. Many of you offered good advice I took to heart, and some of you even reached out to me on Facebook. I may have been slightly jaded at the time, but the show of compassion and empathy from strangers has been truly heartwarming. I like the new me, and I hope to be better for the experience. I've only brushed the surface of this post, so feel free to ask me anything. Well, anyhow, once again proving you don't rush into marriage, you get to know your girl, you don't let her go out seeing bands and staying over at bands and hotels and all that crap, because look what can happen. And if you're married that short of a time and she wants to spend all this time without you, what does that say, you know? And also, there's smoke, there's fire. But I'm sorry this guy went through this, but he had a lot to work on. She's an a-hole, but he had made mistakes too, and hopefully he learns. But if he rushes into the relationship, he says it's been I guess about 7 months since this all went down. This is an older story, by the way, but 7 months since his update. You know, still, I think he needs to work on himself. But he says he doesn't care about this relationship too much. He's kind of indifferent, but I think he's a little less indifferent than he's carrying on. But I'm glad he's improving his life and all that, and that's good, and he's feeling better. But if he's not careful, he can make the same mistakes again. We shall see. But anyhow, guys, I'm glad he's doing well, and I guarantee you, one day she'll be back trying to take her back. And I think he's smart enough to realize, no way, no how. All right, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Be sure to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.